Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Ojaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we will continue our discussion on chapter 12, devotional service. Last time we have seen that Arjuna has asked a question to the Lordship: who is better? Whether the person who worshipped the personal form of the Lord, or the person who worshipped the impersonal form of the Lord. Who is highest? And then Lord explains him about the person who has taken shelter of the personal form of the Lord, who is devotee of their Lordship. He is highest. Why is it so? Then he explained about the impersonal realization and the process that someone undergoes to get that realization. And about that, Lord says it is klesho adhikaras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam. Avyakta hi gatir dukkham devavattir avapnite. The person who takes shelter of the impersonal feature of the Lord, he has to undergo lots of troubles. But the person who takes devotional service, what happens with him? Lord himself comes, as explained in the Varaha Puran. Nayami Paramam Sthanam Achirad Gatim Vina Garuda Skandam Aropya Yatecham Anivarataha. The Lord comes riding on the shoulder of Garuda and takes you back to Godhead. Achirad. That's text number.
Impersonal form means?
Impersonal, Brahmajyoti.
Oh.
Brahmajyoti, who is attached to Brahmajyoti. Then now, from texts 8 to 12, Lord is explaining different options for the people who are not able to take up the devotional service. What they can do. Highest is devotional service. And in the 8th verse he says, Mayyeva manadatsva mayye buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyasi mayyeva ataurvam samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. It's very wonderful verse actually.
Actually, I want to ask about this question, and I'm coming all the way in the car. I was thinking I have to ask this question.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here my question is to not only everyone who has a devotee, they are thinking about Krishna, they are chanting, they are following all the regulated principles. Still they are facing problems in life, one or the other. Not only ordinary person, you can take sannyas or guru or 24 hours whoever is thinking about Krishna, still they are going to bad phase. That means you can see materially they are going some other problems. Why? When he says, when you think about
So
God
nature of material world is what? Dukhalam. Then what you are going to get? If you jump into the ocean, you will get wet or you will be dry. You will be wet.
I understand.
How maybe expert you are to swim and cross, but you have to face a hardship. We are in this material world. We are having this material body, which has its own conditioning. We have to undergo that. No one has got rid of the material problems as long as he is in the material world. Because deha yogina dehina, you have got this body. So according to body, whatever suffering and happiness you are going to get it, how to get through that, whether you are a devotee or non-devotee. But by becoming devotee, what happens? You get that maturity through which you, even though body is suffering, but you will not realize that. Yeah. You will take it granted. Yeah, this is going to happen. Rather than like a materialistic person, if something happens, like everything is shaken. For devotees, it never happens. Gatina yam labdhva chaparam labham na manyate adhikam tata. Yasmin sthito hi gurunam api vichalate. If you attain that position in devotional service, yasmin sthito hi, when you get situated there, gurunam api vichalate. Even big blunder also comes, you never get shaken. Why? Because you know what is going to happen is Lord's arrangement. So your mind is prepared for that, to take it. Like we have seen, like one about sannyasi, such a great person. Everybody knows he is like a person Bhagavad, but he got a paralysis. And people started thinking, why is it so? He is such a person who was totally absorbed in just narrating wonderful Lord's pastimes. He never criticized anyone, he never chastised anyone. And why is this happening to him? It's deha yogina dehina. This body has this reaction, you have to go through that. And that's the understanding devotee has actually. Look at the Kunti Maharani. What she has not suffered. Is there anyone in the world who can undergo that sort of suffering? Look at Prahlad Maharaj. Small, 5 years child who was totally dependent on Krishna. Was always constantly remembering Lord. But he has gone through such a trouble. Because generally it says that gold, as much as you burn, it gets purified from its contamination. So same way, if you want to go back to Godhead, you have to go all these phases. Because Lord wants a kinchana. A kinchana means a kinchana. Kinchana means little bit. A means not at all. He wants to make the devotee in such a way that he should not possess anything material. Even the desire to have something material. Forget about the things having it. Akinchani krita padashritam ya karoti bhikshuk patigehinam. What he does? Akinchani krita padashritam ya. Whoever takes shelter of his lotus feet, he makes them akinchana. Akinchana is nothing in nothing he has material. Karoti bhikshuk. He makes him a beggar. Pati gehinam. Which beggar? The beggar who stall on the road, who does not have a place to stay. Karoti bhikshuk. Pati gehinam. Geha means house. He makes him homeless. Because he wants ultimate surrender. And for that he then takes away each and everything. Yasyaham anugrahannami harishya tadham shanai. When Prabhupada was running his Prayak pharmacy, one day somebody came running and told Prabhupada, your factory got burned. Prabhupada said, okay, that's not mercy. He wanted to make me. And he remembered this shloka. Yasyaham anugrahannami harishya tadham shanai. Okay, that's Lord's arrangement to make me detached from my belongings. So it does not mean that you are a devotee, so you will not suffer. But you are meant now to suffer, because this world is not meant for you. You have to live it. Unless and until you get detached from this world, you will not go back to God. So he makes sure that 100% you become detached. So he creates all sorts. You have a look at any pure devotee and his life. How much trouble they have gone. But they never left their faith in the Lord. It was always instilled, intact, and it was ever increasing. That's what he did.
So what Krishna is telling here,
What
whoever
is
thinks
saying?
24 hours, always think about me, I'll take care of him. What is taking care?
He's taking care of your consciousness. It should not get spoiled by the material nature. Don't think physically he will take care of you. Sometimes he takes, not all the times. He makes you to remember him at every stage. That's what he does. Because smriti, that comes from him. By our own endeavor, we can cultivate knowledge. But to remember it or apply it, it depends upon his mercy. If he wants that you should remember, then that smriti is there. Matta smritir apohanam cha. From him, the forgetfulness and smriti comes. And he gives that. To remember Krishna, you need smriti. That is given by Krishna himself. But your own endeavor, you can't remember it. That's what generally people they ask. What God does that? If I am suffering for my karma, I am creating my karma, then what his role is there? His role is to make you remember what is your constitutional position. Nobody can do that. Only he can do that, because he knows who you are. No one else knows that. Neither yourself nor the things related with you, the parents, the spiritual master even sometimes. But Krishna knows everything.
So when we get initiated, if someone gets initiated, that means whatever sins the Guru is taking. So still the person
Up
is
to
going
the time, up to that initiation time, whatever sin he has committed, that is taken by the spiritual master. After that, he is responsible for his own. If he creates sins, he has to suffer. He and his Guru also. Because accepting someone as a spiritual master, as a disciple, means discipline that person. If you are capable to do that, then accept. Otherwise, just leave it. Take care of yourself first. If you take like 1,000, 2,000 disciples and you are not able to give time, then you are responsible for whatever sin they are doing, and you have to suffer for that. And we have seen that also. It happens. That's why Rupa Goswami said, don't read too much and don't have followers too much. Both will kill you. If you read too much, the problem is that because everywhere in different contrasts, different thing is said. And you don't have that much intelligence to grasp them on one level. So better to read that much which you can fathom it. And take that much responsibility which you can carry on with. Otherwise, both are tough things. Then that's your proper question. Most of the people, they have this question. Where's the role of God then? I've taken a birth. I'm having this body. According to body, I'm getting sufferings and I'm getting happiness. And where is his role? His role is there. He gives you smriti, through which you want to remember him, he will give smriti. If you want to forget him, he will get that smriti. Matta smritir jnanam apo. He gives that buddhi. Dadami buddhi yogam tam te namam upayam dite. Whom he gives, that is explained here. Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhi niveshaya. Nivashasya mayeva tavurdham na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always, without a doubt. One who is engaged in the Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such a service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in Gita and in other Vedic literatures. See the question that you have asked, that was even asked by Vasudeva and Maharaj Parikshit also. Why your devotees they are suffering so much? Because he is putting his devotee in that situation so that he can test them. And he can prove to the other people that my devotees are always great and they never perish because they have taken my shelter. That increases the faith of a neophyte devotee in the Lord by seeing the life of such a great soul.
So here is talking about chanting. So chanting, what exactly like? Whether it's removing my sins, what are the karma, bad karma, what are they? Is it removing or what exactly?
See, if you have that mood for the chanting, that's the wrong one. That I am chanting because I wanted to get rid of my sins.
No, I'm not in that mood. Just I'm asking what exactly is happening.
Agar hunvanti kasneya nivaram eva kuvakaha. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto it is said, as sun rises, gradually the kuhaka means fog get dissipated. So when that pure holy name starts rising in your heart, all the sinful tendencies they will go like the birds, they fly away. So chanting, first we do in with aparad. Then there is a namabhas, and then there is a shuddhana. At the namabhas stage only you will get purified from all the sins. Just as sun rises, the whole darkness goes away. Even though sun is not on the horizon, but still the whole darkness has gone. So same way that Nam has not yet appeared in your heart, the Shuddha, but it's Abhas. That itself will purify you from all your sins from lives together. And then you will be able to chant the holy name.
So if that is the case, then people are chanting for years together, still they are facing problems.
Because they are not even on the Namaprad stage. See, while chanting, there are these 10 Namapradas given. We have not got rid of that yet. Unknowingly, we are committing these sins. But if you keep chanting gradually, because lifetimes, millions of lifetimes, we have accumulated so much of sins. And as long as the sins are there, that pressure of sin or load or hips of sins, they are there on the back. It's very tough to get rid of that. But if you are sincere, Prabhupada says, if you are sincere and sincerely follow the instruction given by the spiritual master without any offense, this lifetime is sin. One devotee asked Prabhupada in lecture, Prabhupada, how long it will take us to go back home, back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, right now. God says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. If you fully surrender unto me, right now you can go to back to God. You can become qualified to do. But you should have that intensity. And that's what Prabhupada used to say. Chanting means crying like a small child. When small child cries for his or her mama, child just raised his hand and he says, "Oh, Ma." And it shows full dependence on mother. That should be there. As long as you don't develop that one, till that time you have to go through all this. So it depends upon the sincerity of your heart. Now the next one. The next shloka, God says, "Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai stiram abhyas yogena tato mam ikshapam dhananjaya." My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principle of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will be developed a desire to attain me. See, in the 8th verse, he says, "Mayyeva mana adhasva," just fix your mind in me. Then might be a question in Arjuna's heart. For everyone, it's not possible, Krishna. What about the people who are not able to fix up their mind? What will happen to them? Then Krishna in the next verse, he says, "Okay, no worries, Arjuna, O winner of the wealth." See, once when Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to get done the Rajasuya Yajna, that time he sent all his 4 brothers to 4 directions to collect wealth. So that time he sent Dhananjaya, Arjuna. He called as a Dhananjaya because he accumulated a lot of wealth for the fire sacrifice or Rajasuya Yajna, what they have done. As he has accumulated this spiritual material wealth for the Yajna, so Lord is addressing him as a Dhananjaya. So now you should accumulate that wealth through which you can progress in spiritual life. It's very nicely explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in this particular regard. He says, Krishna calls Arjuna Dhananjaya, the winner of wealth, because Arjuna obtained riches for his brother by fighting. Krishna now requests Arjuna to fight his mind and obtain the wealth of meditation upon Krishna by in a full devotional service through practice. And Srila Prabhupada describes the practice of sadhana that elevate one to the stage of attachment to Krishna. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take a bath, enter the temple and offer prayer and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of Godhead. And then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami Pad, he also says, he quotes it from a Padma Purana. There's a nice verse which explains Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu Vismartavyam Najatuchit Sarve Vidhi Nishadhayo Syur Etayor Yevas Kinkaraha. Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never be forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servants of these 2 principles. What are these 2 principles? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So all the rules and regulations, they are given in the Vedic scripture, all they are subservient to these 2 principles. That always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So the person who is not able to engage his mind constantly in Krishna, fix his intelligence and mind in Krishna, what he should do? He should follow the rules and regulations so that his mind gets trained in that way. Like chanting 16 rounds. Why we have to chant 16? Why this regulation is there? Because that will regulate your mind to do that. Always, Krishna has instructed that Satatam kirtayanto mam. Each and every moment you have to think. But at least you try for the 2 hours. Sit at one place and try to remember Krishna. See, is that possible for you or not? Then in the next verse, what should one do if he finds himself unable, even by his attempts in following Krishna consciousness practice, to always think of Krishna? That question might be there in our heart or not. Whoever is sincere or wants to make progress in spiritual life, he will think about this. Okay, constantly I can't engage my mind. Then what should I do? Okay, I will practice regulator principle. But that is also very difficult for me. Then what to do? And Krishna explains in the next verse. He says, Abhyasi apya samarathosi mat karma paramo bhava madartham api karmani purvam siddhim avapasyasi. If you cannot practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. 10. One who is not able even practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectionist stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work as already explained in the 55th verse of 11th chapter. So can you take out that verse, 55th? 11th chapter, chapter 11. In front of you, the previous chapter. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. What is that shloka? Read the text.
Karma.
Mat karma kran mat paramo mat bhakti sangavarajitaha nirvair sarva bhutesho yasamam yeti pandava. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, it certainly comes to me. This is how one should work for Krishna. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness, and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such a work. Like few devotees, they are into book distribution. They are 24 hours engaged. So you can't do like that. So at least you can provide some help to them. That is what working for Krishna. Helping others to render better service to the Lord. Like Pujari, sometimes they need something for the worship of the Lord. So if you provide them, because they can't go outside and get that, but you can help them in that way. Because you can't engage yourself 24 hours, but at least who is engaged in 24-hour service, if you help them out, that is for like a working for Krishna. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such a work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor and some organization to expand. So the same is required in service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna. And that is spiritual activity. If one has a sufficient money, he can help in building an office or a temple for propagating Krishna consciousness. Or he can help with the publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of such activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Now the next thing, where the question comes, oh my Lord, I'm not able to do this also. So what can be done? What can we do if we are unable to act on any of the above stage? I can't remember Krishna constantly. Neither I am able to follow the regulative principles, nor I am able to help someone who is engaged. Then what can be done? In the 11th verse, Lord says, Athaitat api ashaktosi kartum mad yogam ashritaha sarva karma phalat tyagam tatha kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. 12th chapter, text number 11. It may be that one is unable to even sympathize with the activities in Krishna consciousness because of social, family, and religious consideration, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objection from the family member or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions of the humanly or special work in the which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to this state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned result of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified state of a mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one mind. Very important. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his action. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc. may be accepted, so that someday one may come to this stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, we find it is stated, Yataha pravrittir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by sacrificial method. So here, few people, they can't understand Krishna consciousness. But if they give their hard-earned money for some social cause to help others, somehow or other, that will purify their mind. And one day they will be able to understand what is really object of charity, what we have to do in our life. Then further, Lord again explained about the person. The renunciation of the fruits of the one's work for the Krishna service are described in the text 10. Not simply the detached work described in text 11 is placed in the perspective with the other less important practice of the spiritual advancement. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phala tyagas tyagat shanti ranantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action. For by such a renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. As mentioned in these previous verses, there are two kinds of a devotional service. The way of regulated principles and the way of full attachment in love to Supreme Personality of a Godhead. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it's better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of a Godhead by a gradual process. There are processes which may one understand that one himself is the Supreme. And that sort of a meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in the devotional service. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature. For the Brahmanas, Vaishyas and Shudras, which we shall find in the latter chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the results of the fruits of labor. This means to empty the result of karma for some good cause. In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process by gradual development, another process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. Then one can come to the stage of a knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding the Super Soul, and then the stage of Supreme Personality of a God. One may either take this step-by-step process or direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. It is for others who are not at this stage, for them the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation and realization of the Super Soul and Brahman should be followed. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, Krishna. So here in this 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, 5 verses, Lord has explained the different process. If you're not able to render devotional service directly, then indirect processes he has explained. But for Arjuna and his devotees, he says direct processes possible. So next we will read that what are the good qualities that the Lord devotees they possess, and that we will do tomorrow. Correct. So any question? Correct.